Very good morning, guys. Today we shall move on to the new topic called as legal aspects in retailing. What is this basically legal aspects? Generally, legal aspects is said as a law. A law. Okay. This legal aspects has a mutual understand between the society and the law. Okay, here the society refers to the people, employees, competitors, consumers, retailers, and all other variety and various sector peoples. Okay, basically, this law is between the this legal aspects is between the law and the people. Under this legal aspects in retailing, the main, it has been broadly classified into two things. One is of people perspective and another one is of operational perspective. So what is this people perspective? What can this or how can this help for in retail industry? So people perspective is nothing but, say for an example, if I am a worker, if I am an employee of some other organization or some other institution or some other e-retail related business, so what are the benefits I am going to get from the government or from the institution or from the organization. Okay, these things or this dimension is called as people perspective. Okay, next is of operations perspective. I already said you all many times, operation is nothing but mechanisms, functions, right? So while performing or while doing some activity, under that you have one dimension. So legal aspects in retailing is broadly classified into two. One is of people perspective and one is of operational perspective. Okay, so these are the two main things that helps or that solves the issues in the society. So first we shall go with the people perspective. Here the word people refers to the employees. Here the word people refers to the employees. So what are the benefits or what are the legal aspects that has been rendered by the government to the working community is of ESI, that is Employees State Insurance Act. This act has been started in the year 1948. So basically what is this ESI? The name itself says that employees state insurance. If any employee is working in an organization, if that organization has 10 or more persons working under one roof in the sense it might be industry or factory or business, each and every company or organization need to have this under the salary, that is ESI. You all will be studying these things in detail in your income tax, that is in your fifth sem of your BCom. So I'll just briefly tell you all what is ESI. You will be having a gross pay in your salary. Okay, under that gross pay some other benefits will be added like TA, travel allowances, DNS allowance, ESI, PF, gratuity, bonus, all those things. Okay, the extra benefits will be added to your salaries and you will be getting a lump sum. Okay, you will be getting a lump sum. So it is said that 1.75 percentage of your basic salaries amount will be deducted and that will be contributed towards the state insurance, employee state insurance. So why is this deduction taken place? In the sense, suppose you will be in working in an organization, if you are suffering from some diseases or some accidents or some other things, okay, when you're physically or mentally suffering from something, then when you all go visit an hospital, some prescribed hospitals, only this ESI is set for only some prescribed hospitals. If you all go take care there is no need to pay money. All the things will be taken care by the company as well as your amount, and only the least amount, hardly say for an example, if the expenses is of 1 lakh or 1 lakh 20,000, then hardly 25 to 30,000 will be paid by you. The rest will be taken care by the amount what your salary is deducted as well as by the company. So the state insurance is much more needed. Payment, next point is of Payment of Bonus Act 1965. The same criteria applies here. If an organization has 10 or more people, okay, even it need to pay the bonus. Bonus is nothing but yearly once almost all the organizations will be doing such a kind of activity. Okay, this bonus might be an extra salary, an extra 1 month salary or extra 3 months salary or whatever it might be. So as the conditions and so as the profits of the organizations, they will be paying the bonus. Next one is of Payment of Gratuity Act 1972. If an employee is working in the same organization for 5 or more years, then he need to pay the gratuity amount. Getting the point? If an person is working in 5 or more years with a service, then he is entitled to pay a gratuity amount. Next is of Employees Provident Fund. Employees Provident Fund is a thing where the employee, it might be any of the employee, and even this the criteria is same. Okay, if is working in an institution or organization, whatever it might be, the basic salary office of that person's 12% will be contributed towards the EPF, Employment Provident Fund. Adding to this, you have an employer provident fund. Even 12 percentage will be contributed from your side and 12 percentage will be contributed from the employer side, so that you can withdraw the amount after 3 months working in an institution. Say for an example, if you would have started working from January, okay, you can withdraw the amount after 3 months, in the sense in the month of April and so on. Okay. Next is of the Minimum Wages Act. According to the central government, the person should be paid and minimum wages based on his criteria, based on his education, based on his skills and all those things. Considering all those things, there is a Minimum Wages Act. The least minimum wages act is of, there are various cadres and categories of working people: A category, B category, C category, D category. Okay, the least category is of D category. At least this person's, say for an example, you all know the workers who construct the roadways, railways, bridges. So this person's, the least salary is of 10,300 rupees. Okay, so the minimum, that is of Minimum Wages Act. Okay, this thing should be taken into consideration. Even you can see this thing under Narega scheme, right? In many villages we have this Narega scheme. So right now the government is providing 275 rupees per head if he is working in a village for some other purpose. 275 rupees is a minimum wages paid for an employee irrespective of gender. Next one is of workman compensation. This compensation is paid when there is an accident taken place. It might be an death or partial partial accident, in the sense is hand or is leg, some other injuries. Okay, minor injuries. For this there is an compensation paid for the workers. So even this is of important thing. The next one is of the Payment of Wages Act 1936. This is the Payment of Wages Act that is responsible for the employees who are working under railways, airlines, mining industries, oil fields, and all those things. Okay, these are the various 7 things you look from the people perspective. Next is of operations perspective. Operations perspective is nothing but when you are running some or functioning some activities, then you need to consider all those things. Under that, the first one is of the Shops and Establishment Act. Say for an example, if I am a person who is intended to start an shop, it might be departmental or provisional shop. Basically you need to take the license, right? You need to take the license of that. Even the better example is of for pharmacy. When you're starting this, you need some educational qualification for that. Based on that, you can start your shops. So this is of primary thing, not only for shops and not only for pharmacies. Even this includes for hotels, theaters, and other entertainment places, like it might be parks like Mandala, all those things, Mandala, GRS Fancy Park, all those things. Okay. The next one is of the Prevention of Food and Adulteration License. Is this is of primary thing. This is an important thing in retail sector because we all will be trading in such a type of goods called as FMCG, fast moving consumer goods. You need to take care that there should be no adulteration, there should be the quality, quantity, and all the things should be considered, and even the expiry dates is of mandatory. And you need to collect this license when you're starting a departmental store or some other retailing sector, and make sure that if you all sell this adulterant products or some other things, there will be a penalty as well as 6 months of imprisonment, and this can even extend up to 3 years, and with a minimum fine of 1,000 rupees. Okay. Next is of Industrial Dispute Act 1947. Industrial dispute, the word itself says dispute. If there is any conflict between the management and the workers, or between the managements and the unions, or any conflicts among the unions itself, or any conflicts between the management, then that has to be solved, and that employee or that working community should be shifted to some other place, so that make sure that the organization works in smooth zone. Next is of Consumer Protection Act 1986. This is an important act because the basic thing of this Consumer Protection Act is of transparency. Transparency, here the word transparency includes the brand name, price, manufacturing date, expiry date, quantity, quality, ingredients, all those things, adulteration, all those things can be get considered under Consumer Protection Act. You need to consider all those things. Next is of Essential Commodities Act of 1955. Essential commodities, the name itself says that basic commodities or needed products. So it is mandatory to render the service in such a thing so that the consumer should be available of all the products. How is this? How does this works in the sense? Say for an example, you will be running an organization and you will be having various branches. Say for an example, your branches will be at Bangalore, KGF, Kolar, and Malur. Make sure that what kind of product you are selling there, the same kind of product should be sold in various branches. If this doesn't takes place in some other cities like KGF, Kolar, and Malur, and you'll be getting only that product in Bangalore, then it is said as partiality, right? So you're making only one group of peoples or one geographical group of persons to purchase that product. So this shouldn't take place. So each and every person, it might irrespective of region or irrespective of any other things, you need to get the products what he is intended to purchase. Okay, next is